What's up? It's your boy Currensy here. Guess you already know that. But let's talk Dame Dash and Currensy beef. Well, I should say business disagreement. But beef goes, it's like the shorter version of it. And a lot of people probably don't know who Currensy is or Spitter, and what he is basically a New Orleans, Louisiana rapper who's a lot better than most of the guys you've seen. I mean, this guy wrote rhymes for people. He's one of the 504 boys back in the day. When they did the Good Side, Bad Side album. He was on a lot of tracks, putting down work. And I think he was signed at that time to C Murder's label or something, because he did a lot of songs with C and with Slim. So when that went away and everything else, he ended up signing with Cash Money Records back in like '04 when they was just first getting off the ground. And he's on the Dedication 1 and 2 with Lil Wayne and all that stuff. So once they started migrating more over to New York to start doing songs on the East Coast, and with all the people he was signed to, that's when things started to change. Like when he did like Jet Flies and all that stuff, he was making his own like waves out there, and people was like, yeah, this the dude to work for. And Wiz is his homie, and him and Wiz, they used to smoke and talk. But he's a low-key cat, and he cool with being low-key. And people like to work with people like that, because if you want to be on top of the world and flashing, and you want to be the superstar, your dream is to find somebody who want to just rap, get some money, just chill. I don't want to be known. I don't really want to be out there like that, to be the main guy on the thing. I don't want that. Because that guy is who you need. It's like having that guy you go to the club with, and he sleep with any chick that says hello, whether they ugly or not. So he has no preference. Those are like the best guys to ever roll with, because they gonna help you get the fine chick. Because you like, cool, I need to roll with a guy like this, because her friend that's gonna be the dog, your boy gonna be all on it. You gonna be like, okay, then I guess we can hang. I guess we can. And see, I always roll with a guy like that for those purposes only. Maybe, man, how you get the baddest chick? Because I roll with a guy whose standards are very, very low. As long as, like, dude, she talking about giving it up on the car ride over there. I'm winning. I'm like, go ahead, you won. I'll take my time with this one. So that's just how I used to roll. But back to the situation at hand. Now, once he started working on his album and started doing like his third mixtape, when he was doing Pilot Talk, he had signed apparently, because he had got Dame Dash's attention back in '09. So when he was working on his tape, and he had Snoop and like Mos Def, like everybody got there, because he was real tight with Ski. And when he put these songs and everything out, when he had Dame was, I'm gonna talk to you for a minute. I mean, who's looking out for you? Are you making some enough money off your own tapes, or you want to make somebody else's label rich? Because that's what they're doing to all the artists right now. They're just taking all the artists' money, and the artists don't have no idea how to get their money. I want to help you keep your money. I don't want your money. I'm going to make my own money. But we're going to be partners. We're going to split everything 50-50. I don't want to rob nobody. I want to see all black men get rich. So when Dame started running that script down, it went from that to, all right, well, all right, we're going to see what you about. So when all this is going on, Dame is taking him around, plugging Currensy, talking about, Pilot Talk and the record, and then they released it under the new Rockefeller Records umbrella, which was that Blue Rock, that whole thing he had, or the Blue Rock Records and Dame DD172 and all that stuff. So that was the new Dame Dash label they was gonna put it under, and he was all like, okay, cool. Currensy was in agreement with everything. The agreement and paperwork just wasn't done. They were proceeding without the paperwork really being finalized or anything. So Def Jam was going to distribute the record. But when you got somebody on the other end that's out to sabotage everything that you're doing, it's going to be hard to put out anything on the imprint of Def Jam Records. Even if that person isn't there anymore, he still has a lot of influence with people that's there who you've offended. So Dame Dash couldn't get the cooperation from Def Jam Recordings and make certain promises that he thought he could make to Currensy. And what he wanted Currensy to do was kind of be patient. And so when Currensy was trying to reach back out to him, because, here comes Pilot Talk 2. I keep saying Pillow. Pilot Talk 2 comes out, and it's got Fiend on there, got Raekwon, it's got a lot of other artists on there. And all these rappers are on this album, and it's out, and there was no problems. It was like, okay, this album's out. Currensy like, okay, I'm going to get my money on the back end of this. I'm going to get hit off eventually. And then it helped him get a lot of buzz because he had all this attention. He got his imprint label on Warner Brother Records now. His Jet Life Recordings. Now, once this was out, and he put out his first project, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, you got other songs being released on another record label, which is, in his contract, was going to be a violation. And he's like, I'm not even, wait a minute, I'm not even on that label. He was working on Weekend at Bernie's at the time. And so he was trying to reach back out to Dame, like, Dame, you need to stop putting out records until we get certain type of paperwork, because he never really signed to the label. And so while all of this is going on, he's currently working, but then he realized, they was like, dude, if you don't put out some type of legal paperwork or a lawsuit, you could lose a lot of money back to Warner Brothers because you kind of in violation of the deal because they're releasing music on another imprint. And something's got to happen here. So legally, he had to file papers against Dame Dash. But even though him and Dame was still cool, so it was one of those things. It was business. I gotta do this, even though he my guy. I believe in him. I just haven't heard from him, so I need to do this. And then Dame reached out to him, and they had a conversation about what was going on. And he was like, it's not me, it's them, it's the label, and they messing everything up. It's Def Jam, doing what they do, because you got a guy on the other side trying to sabotage us. So he's fighting with that, and he was like, he's holding up the money, so I can't, we can't go out and do the things that we want to do and that we're supposed to do. And he was like, I'm paying for everything out of pocket. So he's like, just hold tight and we'll get this thing worked out. So it don't mess up your thing. So anyway, it went on for another 2 years, nothing came from it. Blue Rock ended up folding the company, and again it was like no Dame Dash, no nothing. So finally, this thing started. It got to the point where it was time to go to court, and they were talking about he lost about $1.5 million off of in damages. He had to sue for like $3 million for using his material of his music without consent because they didn't have the paperwork finalized, even though they had verbal agreements on everything. And because of it, and they got screwed over by Def Jam, they had to do a settlement out of court. Some say they got $3 million from the settlement and from Dame Dash people, and I don't know. That I don't know, because really I don't think it was even released. I just know that he filed a $3 million lawsuit with $100,000 going to the legal fees to the lawyers for Dame Dash to pay for, and he was awarded $3 million in settlement, what they say, for the action. But I remember they settled a $3 million lawsuit. So, all I know is that it's settled. Both of them are in a good space. And there really wasn't any beef. Like, one side hated the other. One side had to explain to the other from lack of contact. So when they finally contacted each other, they got everything mashed out. Everything's cool. Everybody's all good. So people got their money. You know, it was a shame, you know, Dame couldn't get out the work that he wanted to get out, or get out things that he wanted to. He had a guy that's keeping him out of the music industry. But we'll talk about that another time. I'm out.